Hello, my name is Tom McCann, and at the end of July 29th, myself, my wife Nancy Harmeyer, and a friend Bonnie Schutte paddled out to Cache Bay, the ranger station that's an entry point for Quetico, to visit with the rangers, Peter and Stacey. And my intention was to take a rubbing of the historic plaque out there, the Quetico Superior sign that was put up a few years ago by Janice Matichuk. When I say I came to do a rubbing of the sign, take a piece of gravestone rubbing wax and I transfer the impression of the raised metal plaque to a large sheet of paper that I'll transform into artwork. After that visit, I wrote a letter to Joe Fredericks, just telling him about the visit and some of the things that we experienced there together. And I thought I would read this letter to you. July 29th, 2024. Hello, Joe. I guess any visit now to Cache Bay is a peacemaking visit. Not that any of us had conflict with Janice, but indeed, we all feel a bit unsettled at her final chapter. We paddled into Cache Bay at 10:30 in the morning, just 3 hours after paddling out of the Chickawauk Bay. We all felt the change as soon as we went beyond the Gateway Islands, something ordinary and something magic. We agreed this moment of transformation was likely the same feeling experienced by Janice, only her feelings entering the bay were more powerful, more resounding. When the Minnesota 3 touched the dock and was tied up, it was unspoken unease. Who should walk up the trail first? And it was brave Bonnie who started up first. Before greeting the inside, we noticed outside the cabin what was the same, what was different. And then in we went. The slow growth of living things deceives us in our perceptions. Brush does grow, needles fall, branches and logs accumulate on the ground. And so the paths that Janice and her children trod into place over the 3 decades are fading. Still there, if you know where to look, but fading fast. The small shrine of offerings placed on the old picnic table had to be moved when the new picnic table was brought in this spring. It's over by the Inukshuk, which is standing there, joining heaven and earth. The special touches that Janice left, the flowers, the collections of odd things, little reminders left in the outhouse, are in a process of change. Visible now, destined to fade like her paths. The new Janice Island plaque is meant to endure and hold the place of all these temporary mementos and the stories they are intended to tell. Reading Susan Orlean's book this spring, the library book, gave some thoughts on story as a way to keep ideas alive into the future. Some are written down, but some are told by voice at picnic tables, at campfires. Some are written into songs or even made into theater or cinema. Being with Bonnie, Nancy, Stacey, and Peter was an experience of seeing how storytelling and listening move someone, especially someone who is grieving, into that generative level of storytelling and listening. I actually saw and felt the 3 visitors move into our own wisdom, to think more clearly about our friend Janice's life and death. Stacey and Peter, by listening deeply, opened the portal for us to pass through and generate a new vision. We let go of some of the old ideas and concepts. We made room to embrace another. Without Stacey and Peter's presence, their acceptance of our stories and sharing back the ones we knew and the new ones that they've heard, this wouldn't have swung this way. I don't know if they were aware of these formations happening or not, but for those few hours of circle time, it was quite important human experience. I had a restless night on the campsite west of the ranger station. It was hot and humid. Every cubic feet had either a mosquito or ankle biter when we went into the tent. Sticky weather, no breeze. I finally fell into sleep, but woke again at midnight and went out to the rock ledge. Not much had cooled down. The northern lights were casting a band of glow to the north. I could hear the whisper of Silver Falls. Over on the ranger station island, I could see a faint light from one of the windows. There's life again on the island. Light cast by two healthy, brilliant young people who are falling deeply in love with Quetico, its visitors, the dramatic environment, the mystery of its birds, fish, and animals, trees, and the natural self-existing equanimity of the park. I got 3 rubbings from the Quetico Superior sign. From one of these, I'll make another art piece. I don't know where its home will be. Chickawauk, Forest Service, someplace in Ely, hanging in my garage. The important thing is to have the historic policy commentary on display on both sides of the border. These collaborative policies might be worth being part of the Shipstead-Nolan 2030 celebration. If things don't go right and in 25 initiatives arise designed to tear apart the collaboration, the artwork will still be there to tell the Quetico Superior story. If all goes well, then perhaps there will be even more to celebrate. The rendezvous at the log building that I spoke of is set up for January 7th. A potluck, a time to swap canoe yarns and ask questions and not worry about answers. Those can come later. Thanks, Joe, for asking me to keep track of our Cache Bay visit. Your friend, Tom McCann.